So already for most of you, the names like Jeff Johns and now James Gunn and Peter Safran with DC Comics, you already know, you're already well familiar. Zack Snyder, of course, amongst them, well associated with the brand. So that's pretty understandable. Another name that I think is important and really very relevant right now and just making headlines for all the good reasons is Jim Lee. So, who is Jim Lee? Jim Lee himself has now officially been named president over at DC Comics, and that's according to sources speaking to the Rep. He's really more of like a comic book artist, which is pretty cool, and working with these characters for the brand for like many decades, and it's pretty cool. Like he fell in love with comics like since the 1980s, so that's where part of his passion came from, and he has really excelled since that time. And it's funny how he was supposed to go to medical school, but he got a drawing opportunity at Marvel, started a career path there from where he is today, and joined DC since 2000 at the beginning of the century. Yeah, since 2000, and he got to work on like a couple of Batman stories, so that was pretty cool. And you know, he was actually a big part of the New 52 initiative in 2011. So for those that don't know what it is, the New 52 is kind of like the whole DC universe getting like a reboot, if you want to call it. Like kind of like a clean slate, going back to the beginning sort of thing, modernizing stories, but like kind of like a reset, reboot, if you want to call it. And how that happened is like a story of the Flash traveling back in time, attempting to keep his mother alive. And so that's how the whole comic book universe was relaunched, a story of the Flash, saving his mom for all the right reasons, and then everything went wrong, which might be the story of the actual movie, I think. Yeah, based on the trailers have been out. Uh, yeah, so that's part. Like I was saying, the story itself inspired Andy Muschietti's movie with Ezra Miller in the film, and there's two different versions of Ezra Miller, and I don't know how that happened, but yeah, I mean, it's at least it's important. Like, if you know what Ultimate Marvel is also like a reboot of the comic book brand sort of idea. That's also the New 52, so that's pretty cool. So, what's Lee going to be doing in his new role? Well, he's going to be responsible for overseeing DC in all forms of media, from comics that are releasing weekly on Wednesdays, upcoming blockbusters, um, yeah, also like probably TV series as well. Um, yeah, I think that's just pretty much it. Like overseeing comic book brand and media brand for DC Comics, just overseeing all the projects. So that's pretty cool. Um, Man, sorry with all the ums, but but yeah, I again, like with recent developments throughout the past few months, and then now Jim Lee being elevated as president of DC, I like where the brand is going, and with the DCU film reboot series happening in the near future, that's pretty good. But because of this reboot, I kind of concerned that it may affect box office results for The Flash, similar to what happened with Shazam Fury of the Gods. Of course, net reviews were negative for that movie, but I think because of this whole reboot, box office numbers did hurt that movie, and I'm foreseeing a similar path, not similar path, you know, a similar pattern going to be happening with the Flash. So look for that to happen. I mean, I know that it's coming next month in June, but I the film part, I mean, that's something to look forward to later. But regarding Jim Lee, I mean, that's actually good for him. That's pretty great stuff, and it seems like with him in charge, interesting stories will be releasing more so on a weekly basis.